A 10-minute drive back towards the Blackmore Vale brings me to the village of Minster. In the late 1800s, the land was sold to a Lord Wolverton, who knocked down many of the traditional cottages and rebuilt them in red brick, giving the village a rather unique look. This distinctiveness and the region's very good schools have made it a hotspot with home buyers. Houses here usually sell for well above the average price for the area. The final property I found is Preston Farmhouse. It's set in 4 acres of land, and the 4-bedroom main residence comes with, yet again, just a 1-bedroom annex. At £570,000, it is over budget, but if my family thinks it's for them, I know the owner, Joss Hartland, would consider an offer. So I'm coming up the front path of Preston Farmhouse, and just to get our bearings, the main house is to the side here, and directly in front of us is the annex. They actually share a front door, which is the green one ahead of us. Spot the 2 doorbells. But to make it a little bit more private, the current owner actually uses the side entrance to get into his building. So that's the way I'm going to go. Hi, Joss.
Hello, Catherine.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
OK, kicking straight off, what have we got in here?
That's my study.
Actually, could be a playroom, because I've got 2 small boys.
Or a spare bedroom for downstairs.
Right, yes, equally. Oh, a lovely big kitchen. This
Nice,
is great.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, I've got a family of 4 to accommodate, so I'm thinking this is a very practical space.
No problem. It's been a nice family room.
So when was the original house built?
It was built in about the mid-70s.
Right.
As a bungalow.
Yeah.
And then it had like a steel put up, a steel cradle put up to put the upstairs on.
Right.
And then the annex was added on afterwards.
So we're coming down the hall and noting very good storage.
Lots of cupboards.
Yeah. So we've got the stairs going up there in the main house.
That's right.
And then into the sitting room. Wow, what a view.
It's not bad, is it? I mean, in actual fact, it was what sold the place to us in the first place.
I can see
when we moved
why.
in.
Yeah, it's incredible. So what are we actually looking at, Joss?
We've got our field out here with the sheep in.
Right, so your land extends to where that house is that right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
the fence line and all the area where the sheep are.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, nice, lovely big sitting room that is, isn't it? And looking out on that, what more could you want?
Well, good planning on whoever built this room, because I love the fact you've actually got these 2 big windows on both sides. And again, really nice for a family, because they've sort of got that area around there. You could have lots of people doing different things.
That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
at Christmas time, it's wonderful because, you know, you've got such a huge area, you can accommodate 15, 20 people quite happily.
Excellent. So we've effectively done the sort of the living accommodation in this side.
Right.
So I'm going to explore upstairs and then go and have a look at the annex.
OK. Right, Catherine.
That is a massive living area.
Living room,
Yeah, it's big, isn't it?
And
My only concern, it's not really a concern, but my only observation would be that there doesn't really seem to be very much character there. It's
just very modern.
a modern house.
So I'm coming up the stairs in the main house, really rather grand staircase. Going up this way, that leads to bedroom number 1. It's a really good sized room which has been built over the extension. So then coming up this way, all the bedrooms on this side are over the main house. The first room we come to is the master bedroom, which is lovely. It's got an ensuite bathroom and it's been quite recently redecorated, so it just shows how you can really lift a house with a lick of paint and some new carpet. It's got windows on both sides, really maximising on the views. And looking out from here, it just feels so rural.
That's lovely. Yeah. That is really nice.
You could not like that, could you?
Rural views aside though, we're just 2 minutes from Minster, which has a pub, a shop, a leisure centre, so loads of amenities on your doorstep. Next we come to the family bathroom. I have to say, this house has a really comfortable, well lived in feel. It's obviously been a real knockabout family home for a number of years. So in places it does need a little bit of updating, but that's half the fun of moving into a new house. Now, nice spacious hallway here. They've actually got some quite big pieces of furniture. So if you took these out, you would have a really spacious feel. And at this end of the house, we've got 2 more bedrooms. Again, both very good sizes, which I'm thinking would be perfect for Alex and Sam. And they can get busy with the paint pots and really make them their own. So having seen all the rooms on this side of the house, I'm going to go and have a look at the annex.
Well, the boys' bedrooms are perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, they're very
Yeah.
good sizes to grow into when they're bigger.
And we wouldn't have a need for a playroom because the bedrooms are big enough for them to have their toys in anyway.
Tim and Jackie, that would be your half. Coming through here, we get into the shared hallway. That's the front door that we saw from outside. Keith and Barbara, take note because this is where your annex would start. First of all, we've got the kitchen here, which is a really good size actually, and it's got a useful utility area on the end which actually opens out into the garden. Now, Joss has had various elderly relatives living in this area the whole time that he's been here, and he hasn't really done much work to it, so it does need a little bit of scrubbing up and updating.
No, that is a nice sized kitchen for an annex.
Big enough.
She's quite right, it does need updating, but, well, what's putting a fitted kitchen in is
No, that's no problem.
not a problem, is it?
No.
And then we go through into what is really the main living area. So this would be your sitting room and dining room. It is on the small side, but like next door, it's got great French doors going out onto its own little private patio area. And then we go through on the same floor into the bedroom. Yes, there's just one bedroom and it's fairly tiny. They've jammed in 2 single beds, but that pretty well writes off the wardrobes. And then next door, it's got its own bathroom. Again, could do with a little bit of updating. There is, of course, the bedroom upstairs, but that's been stolen for the other house. If you were to steal it back, of course, that would leave the main house with just 3 bedrooms. So really what you gain in the main house, you slightly lose in the annex.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
That is a shame.
My bedroom.
That's the only bedroom. Yeah, I have to say that's
That's disappointing.
very
Yeah.
disappointing,
Yeah.
the bedroom.